Hi everyone and welcome. I'm Diane and my passion is painting and creating nature-inspired watercolours in my studio, which are easy for you to do too. I share all my paintings with you on YouTube, and on our website dianeantone.com you can find free downloadable sketches for all the videos to help you make the most of your painting journey. And if you'd like a little bit more, we also have channel memberships with loads of perks for you to enjoy. So welcome on board. Click subscribe and turn on notifications, and let's learn to paint watercolour. Hi everyone, Diane here, welcome to my studio. Today I'm going to do a wild painting, a painting which I hope you're going to find liberating and exciting. And if you try to do it yourself, I'm sure you will have a lot of fun. No expectations, no anything, just fun. And I want to also mention, before we start this painting, I want to mention this book, which I think is possibly the best book I have ever come across for beginners in watercolour. And not only beginners, but people who have been painting for a while. And I think it's so funny, really, because this book's by Emma Burleigh. She's English, actually, as it happens. And she's quite an interesting person. With lots of experience in different activities, which she's used to enrich this book with. And so therefore it has turned into more than just a painting book, but also a book about mindfulness and creativity and becoming a happier person, basically. And whenever I get a new book, I always remember my mum, who always started her books from the back. She never read a book, actually, but she did read a lot of magazines, and she always used to go to the back page and start there. So often I do that because I like to see what I'm going to end up with before I start. So this is what you end up with on the last page here, and it talks a little bit about Emma herself. And I've got no affiliation with this book, by the way. This is just me telling you about something I've discovered, and I wish I'd had this book 50 years ago. Of course, Emma wasn't even born then, but I've been waiting for this book my whole life. Anyway, right at the back, there's a quote here, and I really like this quote. "Be willing to be a beginner every single morning," by Meister Eckhart, who was a philosopher, I believe, and might have been a monk too, I think. Be willing to be a beginner every single morning. And I think that's possibly the most important thing that I can ever say to anyone who's painting. Because every time you face a piece of paper and it's blank, you are a beginner. I feel like I'm a beginner. I've painted for my whole life. For 65 years, I've been painting. And I still consider myself to be a complete novice when it comes to painting. That's the way I am. So here's a book that will help you on your journey. And if you want to get a copy of this, it's on Amazon. It's a wonderful book. I'm not going to tell you what's in it because it's about your discovery. So get the book and discover what's in it for you, because everyone will get something different out of this book. It's got a little chapter on, actually just a couple of pages, which is great, because we all know what paints we want to paint with, and we all know what brushes we've got. So she doesn't dwell on that too long. She gets right into brush marks and colours and patterns and all sorts of things. It's a great book, and it takes you through so many different things. So I totally recommend that you have a look at this. And I'm going to now do a painting which is provoked, stimulated, encouraged. Be quiet, Siri. Has come out of my perusal of this book. So I am going to start painting. And I'm going to be using, maybe in the second stage, I might use some of these Derwent Inktense pencils to do some of the elaborations. I'm going to be using my Kuretake set for the main colours because they're the brightest paints I have. Going to be working on an etcher block. The paper is £140. You can see on the front here it tells you 100% wood pulp paper, designed to not give you a fit of the heebie-jeebies every time you start painting because you're going to be so afraid of spoiling your 100% cotton paper. For what we're going to be doing today, we really don't need cotton. In fact, if anything, the cellulose is better for this kind of painting because it allows the paint to sort of sit on the surface rather than soaking in and gently mingling like the Arches paper does. So this is my choice for this particular experience, and I've got a little palette here. It's a bit mucky, but doesn't matter because we're going to go over the top of that. And I'm going to start by using a biggish brush, and I'm going to today give my Aqua Elite a workout, size 12 round by Princeton, nice big brush. So let's plunge into the depths of the watercolor ocean, shall we? I'm just going to go straight onto the dry paper, and I'm going to use the brightest colours that I can find. I don't know why, but this set always gets itself turned around the wrong way. I'm going to be prepared with my little swatch card here, telling me what the names are so that I can tell you, just in case you want to know. And yeah, so let's get started. I'll tell you what though, we're going to start with some bright pink, some hot pink, or the pinkest that we can find. And I don't think that there is what you would call a hot pink there. So let me see. What about another colour? What about some permanent rose to add to the Kuretake? This is De La Rowney, actually. Very old tube paint, definitely needs to be used up. So let's see, what do we get when we mix that with some water? Yeah, not bad. And I'm going to add a more bluish red to that, just to make it a little bit more, I don't know. So let's get started with some nice, we'll leave some spaces and just think flowers. And let's go back in with some orange. This is probably a good way to relax. I think don't be too precious about it. Don't worry. Don't listen to the rattling of the paints. Let's put some yellow in the middle here, shall we? And we might paint over part of that. So I'm going to do a fairly big chunk there, and then we'll put some yellow with some red next to it and let that sort of bleed. And then you just do whatever, because we're going to doodle over the top of this anyway. So now let's find a nice bright green, maybe, and put that there. And a darker green, perhaps. Just putting strokes sort of anyhow, really. Some darker red here. Whatever you feel is making a good pattern. That's the thing. Blue, we want some blue. Let's have some ultramarine, shall we? And let's put that in here. And maybe make it darker with some Prussian. And we don't want it to get too dark, so I'm going to come in with some cadmium orange. Try and keep it reasonably clean, the colour. So are we thinking about plants, flowers, jungles? Look at these lovely swirls that we're getting there. Let's have some nice forest gump green. Maybe we'll put some forest over here too. And I'm leaving some whites here and there. Come on, forest, let's get a bit more of you in there. And one thing to remember when you're doing this kind of painting is not to worry about having to wash your brush out in between the strokes, because some people are, you know, they don't want to waste the paint, but you have to sometimes just let it go, right? This is a nice maroon colour here, I think. I probably should have wetted it first before I started. And maybe clean the brush and come back with some more orange, perhaps down the bottom here. Maybe. And then perhaps some nice bright green. And how about some of this pink? Perhaps mixed with a bit of permanent rose. Put some of that here. It's nice and opaque. And my mixing water, my cleaning off the brush water is getting very dirty. Let's put some orange in here. I've never used so much orange in my life as I have since I acquired these paints. The orange is the first one that's going to disappear. Here's a very nice bright red. I like the paints to bleed, but not necessarily. Which one was that? That was this one, wasn't it? Yes. That is called, strangely enough, red. And it is. Look how that contrasts with the green. And where you touch the colours that are wet, you get these amazing bleeds, look. And then I'm going to put a large purpley pink circle here. And maybe over the other side, some yellow perhaps joining on here, maybe some kind of circle there too, perhaps. And perhaps we'll come back here with some more blue. And then green. Well, that's a nice colour, isn't it? I defy anyone to do this and not enjoy the application of these colours to the paper. I'm going to put some more green up here, and I'm going to leave some space and then put it down here as well. Okie dokie, so now we'll let that dry and we will come back for step 2. Okay, so that's dry, and now what I'm going to do is I'm going to pick up some black with my brush, and I'm going to just kind of outline a few of the shapes, partially outline, just to put some darks in. And I don't know exactly what I'm going to do here yet, so bear with me, because this is all kind of experimental. But what I probably am thinking is that where some of the lines are blurred, but I don't really particularly like the blurs, that gives me an opportunity to just go over them with a nice, dark, emphatic line. So you can do that. And as you start to do this kind of thing, you'll sort of get an idea of what you want to achieve. This is abstract. Okay, so we've done a few lines, so maybe I want a couple of circles, or maybe I'll go round these circles, or one of them, part way round perhaps. You could, at this point, start thinking, yeah, it's a kind of, is there an organic feel here? Is this a plant? Is this going to be leaves? I'm not very keen on this bit here, but what I could do, I could outline it something like that. And what I don't want to do is to spoil the nice lights. So wherever I put my dark lines, the idea is that they are going to benefit, that it is going to benefit. So you can sort of put a dark line between the pink and the green so that the pink shows up more, for example. You know, this is where you as a creator are going to start thinking, not thinking, but feeling the painting calling to you. All right? Seems to be raining. I better let the dog in. Zen? Yeah? Arthur, come on. Raining. There's a good boy. Come on. That's it. And maybe here. Okay, so I'm going to leave that now, and let me think, what am I going to do next? Sometimes when you get to this point, if you're doing something like this, it sort of starts to say, oh, look, here's a fish, and oh, look, here's another fish. I could turn this into a picture of fishes, but we don't really want to do that, I don't think. So what I'm going to do, because this is just a really good way of spending an afternoon, I'm going to take my pencils And I'm going to add some texture to some of these colours. This is an orange. And we could put some orange in here. We can also use the, this is a maroony colour, we can use the colours to emphasise the edges of some of our shapes. So just to come in at the edge and go round, and you get an interesting effect. So you will get texture this way, because the paper has a texture to it. And if you want to, you can wet it a bit in places to make it darker, and you get more texture then. See? And we could come up here with yellow and go over what's underneath. Go around. Put the yellow over the green and you can tone it down, link the colours together. And so on. You could most definitely spend quite a lot of time on this. And then you can make shapes. You could start to do circles, interlinking circles. The sky's the limit, really. And where you've got something there's always the possibility of taking it off if you don't like it. So this is quite what's the word? Enjoyable. Just basically scribbling. We could start to grow flowers if you felt that flowers were appropriate. You could do those with pencil, like that. And, whoops, then you could take your brush and you can partially wet it. Don't wet the whole thing, just partially. Do that. And we could have some more flowers down here, for example. Could make them break the boundary. When you wet them, they get very excited. Quite nice. We could take a dark green and we could think of this one, for example, as being a leaf. I tend to always come back to nature. So if that's going to be a leaf, wet it a little bit. This could be part of a leaf too. And I suppose this one could be as well. We could just take the lighter green. Ba-dum. Maybe, let me see. Well, I suppose we could go to a purple. What's that? That's bark. It's going to be brown. What's this? That's black. It's going to be this one, sea blue. How about indigo? Indigo's blue, isn't it? No, I don't want that. Oh, that's brown. It's going to have to be that one. No, I don't want to put anything there. Maybe here. And I'm wondering whether a narrower line would be a good. Could be, couldn't it? Down here. Sometimes painting and drawing is a fairly silent occupation, isn't it? You don't always want to talk while you're doing it. I'm going to try going around some of the shapes, and I think actually I might use white. I'm quite liking that though, so I think I might go back to what my original idea was, which is to just put shapes over using the pencil. So I'm sort of focusing on the idea of irregular ovals. Like that, and then we have the pen, and then just going round them. Somehow that seems to do the trick. And we've got blue up here, haven't we? Have I got a blue? Is this a blue? Sea blue. Yes, so let's work on this one and do what we did down here a little bit. So we want to put some blue in, sort of random scritchies going over the edges a bit. And join the blue to the green. So where you put the blue over the green, it just makes a darker green. And then if we go for, I haven't got that many colours actually. I think I might get, I don't know, I have got some other, I've got Tamsin's set, but I don't want to ruin them completely, and I think I will. I've got a big set of Faber-Castell in a nice box and everything, but I'm a bit rude with her possessions. I do tend to forget. That I'm using somebody else's stuff. Right, so we'll just use the paintbrush a little bit, just to, like I did on the other one, just to darken up parts of it. Gives us a nice texture. And then maybe with the orange, we'll come down here too. You have to keep an eye on it to make sure that you don't make it messy, you know. Okay, let's come in here. These look like already pre-existing flowers, so we'll just go between the petals and get yellow petals. There we are, and I have a feeling I need some more leaves. Let's find the dark green. I'm getting completely in a mess with my pencils here, but should we put a leaf here? And I need the light green. The brush. Where's my brush? There it is. When you go over the watery parts, it's always dark. Oh, no, that's not true then. Okay, so it lifts it slightly. That's interesting. If you make it wet. That is interesting. So if I was to make that wet and then scraped it with a sharp implement of some sort, like a knife. Does that actually? Yes, it does. Oh, yes. Excellent. So scraping into the pencil gives you the opportunity to lighten, to lift. Interesting. I could do it there too. So I could come in and, whoops, make sure that's clean. Interesting. I didn't know you could do that. So I could lift part of that, for example. Yeah. Interesting. Okay, now I think I'm going to dry that and come back and see what's going to be done next. Interesting, isn't it? Well, I've dried it and I'm going to finish with the pencil side of things, and I'm just going to emphasize some of the colors here on the side and unify them a little bit. So basically this is Permanent Rose, and I'm going to go over the color that I had there, which is still going to give me a variety of colors, but it also gives me an opportunity to break into it a little bit. And so I think I'm going to just emphasize that bit with a bit more red. Maybe put a bit more red up here. And perhaps bring some darker red down into this. I sort of think that wants to be, that was a tentative spiral. So I'll just strengthen that a bit. And I think I want to strengthen these blues down here. Make this a bit darker down here. Okay, and this here as well. Sometimes when you feel you've done something wrong or that you're not sure about, you can just add some more water and then take a tissue or a piece of paper towel and just press into it, and you can lift it out again, okay? So you're not committed forever and ever. Sometimes you get a really nice patchy sort of irregular result, which you can say to yourself, that's what I wanted, actually. Okay, I think I'm going to put some gold on. So let me find my etcher set, mainly because it's the one that softens up quickest. So I'll get some water. I usually use a little syringe to put the water in. And let's just go along here. I don't know which colours I'm going to use. I'm pretty random about these things. And I need a smaller brush, and I'm not going to use one of my best brushes. I always think it's a good idea to wash your paints with a brush that's not too new. And let that sit a minute, and I'll just dry this off so that it's in good shape for the colour to go on top. So, I don't know really. I'm going to try to find a nice dark gold. Am I going to try and find a nice dark gold, or am I going to go with a lighter gold? I want it to show up. And so just thinking, because unless something's got some nature features in it, doesn't seem quite right to me. So let's put in some leaves, and we can go around the outside edge of them with pen as well if we want to. Just to sort of show it up a bit. You don't have to do that. If you can, and you can go on the vein, you can do the veins on top as well if you want. You can just do cross hatching like that. That's another thing. Maybe I'll do that down here. I'm just really sort of scratching into it. It's probably another pen that's going to bite the dust. Come on, you can survive. Start breathing again. Okay, and right, so a bit more gold. What about putting some gold veins in this one? What about some circles, maybe? I'm going to put leaves on here too. So call this a stem. And then maybe no, I don't like any of that. I don't want any of that. I'm going to see if I can get rid of it. Oh well, that's gone. I don't think this brush is working very well, said the bad workman, blaming his tools. Maybe what we needed to do was to do something on the black. Yeah, maybe. Don't like that either. Going to cover that up. Looks like a strawberry, which is somewhat out of place. Having done that, now I think it should be a different colour. Maybe the forest green. Need to do something here. So going to be bold. Let's put some more pink. That's better. Isn't it? Much better. Yes, I think it needed this red line to link the whole thing together, and I think I'm going to take that all the way up to there. Okay, there's just one thing I need to do, which is, since I've got a gold branch there, I need another somewhere else. So maybe here. Maybe we can just, I don't know what's the matter with these stupid brushes at the moment. Nobody wants to be pointed. There's no point in a brush with no point, is there? Let's try again. That's better. Okay, so that complements that. The leaves on both sides, a little bit of gold down here. The reds are connected all the way through. The colours are clear. We've got nice lot of texture here and here. I think I'm going to stop now. It's not a work of art, but it is abstract. It is completely out of my head. No comments, please. And there we are. So have a go at doing something like this. And let me know how you get on in the comments below. Yes. Interesting? Certainly was. It was a good way of spending half an hour, I can tell you that much. So I'll let you go now. Give us a like and subscribe. Come back for more. Everything from whimsical animals, landscapes, abstracts, true abstracts, to florals, line and wash, you name it. We do it on this channel. And we have fun, don't we? So I'll see you again soon, everybody. Bye for now. Bye-bye.